with Rachel Bullock and Ian Payne.
Good evening, welcome to ITV News Tyne. Tonight's headlines.
Masking the issue, York Council defends contractors wearing balaclavas to remove flags from lampposts.
The surge in demand for nappies and basic supplies as baby banks in the northeast see record referrals.
Newcastle United end their away day blues with a big win against Everton. We have a roundup of all the weekend action.
And join me live at Parliament where this giant Christmas tree from Kielder Forest has got the festive season started.
Hello, first tonight, the tactics being deployed to remove the Union flags and St George's flags put up around one of our most famous tourist cities.
York City Council has defended sending in teams of workers dressed in balaclavas to take down the national emblems hanging from local authority lampposts.
The move has been criticised as heavy-handed and distressing by a few, but officials say its workforce has been left needing to protect identities after suffering what it called serious organised harassment and intimidation. Our correspondent Greg Eastill has more.
Who are you? Why a load of men in masks on the street?
This is what it's come to. Men in unmarked vans donning balaclavas to remove flags from around York at night. The residents who shot this footage questioning the tactics at close quarters.
What public authority do you have to be walking around in masks and behaving like this?
The men, some dressed in high visibility security gilets, confirm they work for the council before politely asking the people taking the pictures to back away. City of York Council tonight defending the approach as appropriate and essential to ensure the safety of its workforce. It's the latest chapter in a tense few weeks of exchanges that began when hundreds of Union and St George's flags went up in suburbs around the city. The people behind the flags say they've gone up to promote pride and patriotism and to bring communities together. But a few weeks ago, the council here announced it was taking them down, saying the flag flying had coincided with a rise in racist incidents, including children being abused on their way to school. Some people we spoke to today, though, not happy with the way the removal work's being done.
I don't see the problem with putting the flags up, and the fact that they feel the need to disguise their identities to take them back down speaks volumes, in my opinion.
I'd be scared, actually, if I saw people out late at night with balaclavas on.
One of my good friends here, actually, his dad used to work for the council and he quit because he was taking the flags down and he got so much harassment. Like, I completely understand from their point of view. It's like, I mean, they're only doing their job, aren't they?
I understand why the council are taking them down. They shouldn't have to be balaclavaed up, no.
The council says good progress has already been made, removing hundreds of flags from lampposts dotted around the city. But a few pockets do still exist where flags are flying high. The authority, though, has vowed to press on with the removal work. Meaning we may not have seen the last of these flag removal teams by night on York's streets.
And Greg joins us now live from the City of York Council's headquarters in the city. Greg, what more has the authority had to say about its reasons for using these tactics in order to remove the flags?
Well, Rachel, the City of York Council told us this action was necessary because its workers had been threatened both in person and online, and using some fairly stark language, it told us further in a statement the council is aware of the coordination of serious organised harassment and intimidation and threats towards its contractor, which means anonymity is essential. It also told us that it believes people are working actively online to identify some of the people taking down those flags.
So, Greg, what about the other side then? Has there been any response from the people behind putting the flags up?
Yeah, Rachel, we've spoken this afternoon to an organisation called Flag Force UK, who are behind putting up some of those flags. First thing to stress is that there is no suggestion at all that any of its members are behind those claims of intimidation and abuse. No suggestion they're responsible for that. But in their statement to us, they've called into question whether any of that abuse is really happening. They also say, as far as they're concerned, it's local residents who are being left feeling distressed and intimidated as a result of those masked men being out on the streets. And it's also called into question and challenged why the council is paying for balaclavaed men to work in this way without freely identifying who they are.
Greg is still live in York for us tonight. Thank you.
Charities in the North East are seeing a surge in demand at baby banks, with those in our region receiving more referrals than any other part of the country.
Families are turning to these services for essentials like nappies, clothes and prams, items which they say they cannot afford because of the living cost crisis.
Each of the region's baby banks helped, on average, more than 1,000 families last year. And Tom Barton has been to the region's biggest baby bank in Wallsend.
Shopping for clothes at Wallsend's community store today was Vivian. Her little girl is now 3, but when she was a baby, the baby bank here was a lifeline.
I was actually struggling financially, so there are things I couldn't really afford at that, and I got the baby bank. I got some things from the baby bank which I needed, and it has been very beneficial to me because using baby bank has helped me to save a lot of resources because I don't get to pay for the things that I needed.
The baby bank run entirely by volunteers.
The baby bank service is a free service for anyone who's referred who might need anything from nappies and wipes and formula milk and clothing, all the way up to larger equipment like cots and pushchairs. We have so many people referred to us, probably around 50 per week, referred families, and they can be anything from people who are fleeing domestic violence, people who are switching onto a different benefit platform, people who are even, being rescued from awful situations of people trafficking as well.
Last year, at least 220,000 families across Britain were helped by baby banks. That's an average of 860 referrals to each local centre. But in the North East, demand was more than twice as high, with 1,800 families referred to each of the region's baby banks.
I think it's really sad, but I think it's also because we're a region that actually are open and honest about our situations, and we're really supportive of each other. And I think because of that, that's what encourages people to open up and actually feel able to ask for the help. And it is available, and you just got to ask, and we're here to help.
That would be lovely for Christmas, actually.
Another of those who asked for help was Holly. A teenage mum when her daughter was born, the support she received here was vital.
It kind of made us feel less stressed because I knew that I didn't have to struggle, and if I did struggle I could just come here and if I needed a certain thing, if they didn't have it they would try their best to either help us get it or find something similar. So in a way it was they know how to, they're just really good at helping people, and they're amazing.
We need size 3 nappies.
As another pack is prepared for a family in need, demand for help from baby banks has sadly never been higher. Tom Barton, ITV News, Wallsend.
You're watching ITV News Tyne Tea. Still to come on tonight's programme, a debut to remember for new Borough Boss Kim Hellberg. We have all the weekend's action.
From Kielder to the capital, we're live at the Christmas tree lights switch on of Westminster.
And as the first day of December, the first day of meteorological winter, no snow in the forecast, but we have had some heavy spells of rain. Will they continue? I'll have the details later.
Next tonight, job applicants from disadvantaged and ethnic minority backgrounds are significantly less likely to be recruited into graduate roles, despite having the same qualifications as their peers.
A recent study has exposed persistent bias in hiring, and now experts are calling for recruitment processes to be more closely monitored. Amrit Birdie reports.
For thousands of graduates entering the job market every year, the first hurdle should be their CV, not the colour of their skin or where they're from. But that isn't the reality for many young people attending this networking event aimed at young black professionals.
I started it about 9 years ago now, after my own journey of basically going into the workplace and realising that nobody looked like me. Despite having kind of A stars, I had an economics degree at Ross Group University, and I just realised that the game is a bit different than I expected.
In fact, a recent study by University College London has highlighted the harsh reality facing many graduates. The study compared applications from those with identical skills and qualifications. It found graduates from low socioeconomic backgrounds were 32% less likely to receive a job offer compared to those from wealthier backgrounds. Black graduates were 45% less likely to receive an offer than white applicants, and that figure is 29% for applicants with Asian heritage.
When I joined my first graduate role, the statistics speak for themselves. It tells a story. I was one of the only black women within the office for the longest time.
When I went to university, I realised I entered a new world, because you meet people from the other side of the coin, and you quickly realise that no matter how well you do in exams, you're probably not going to match what their life looks like post-university.
Equality activist Beverly Pravat-Goldstein from Heaton in Newcastle says these figures are in fact part of a wider issue.
I think, unfortunately, what needs to change is a culture that prioritises all equalities, including racial equality. And I think until we have that, we are not going to get anywhere. And unfortunately, we seem to be going backwards on racial equality. So I think we really need what people would call a sea change, a reversal, turning the world upside down until we get a commitment to equality.
Barrister Nabila Malik has spent her career fighting for workplace equality, and she says it's more important than ever that recruitment processes are truly unbiased.
If your company doesn't have a certain minority group, why would you not want to bring in a policy to recruit that person from that particular background if that person is equally as good?
In a time where many employers say they're committed to improving diversity, it seems there is still a way to go until everyone is given a fair chance. Amrit Birdie, ITV News.
The ITV Evening News continues at 6:30 with Mary Nightingale.
Coming up at 6:30, the Prime Minister defends the Chancellor, insisting Rachel Reeves did not mislead the public about the nation's finances. Sir Keir Starmer and his Chancellor continue to face tough questions and criticism about their budget. The number of lives lost in heavy rains and floods across parts of Southeast Asia climbs. Millions are affected across Thailand, Indonesia, Sri Lanka and Malaysia. And from pillar to post, Royal Mail's changing technology ends a village's yarn tradition. Do join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Now it's 6 months since the sale of disposable vapes was banned in the UK. It was aimed at reducing the environmental impact of the single-use products and to discourage their use by young people.
However, an ITV investigation has revealed that disposable devices are still being sold, and the head of one vape trade body says illegal sales are a huge problem. Kevin Ashford reports.
Hidden cameras reveal the illegal sale of single-use vapes. More than a quarter of the stores visited by this ITV undercover team were willing to sell the disposable devices, which has been against the law since the summer. The legislation was brought in partly because of the environmental impact of the plastic vapes, which contain lithium batteries when they're discarded. This vape shop in Newcastle says it's seen customer demand for disposable devices decline since the ban.
I think they've been steady away. You get a lot more value for your money now. There's different strengths. They're more economical to the environment as well, so it's all-round plus. And we get the odd person asking for them, but we use that as an opportunity to explain the new rules and guidelines and give them a more sustainable one.
Official figures show that for the first time ever, there are now more adults, 5.4 million of them, who use vapes or e-cigarettes daily or occasionally than there are adult cigarette smokers. However, the disposable vape ban was introduced because research showed they were especially attractive to children. This college principal has been working to reduce the number of young people vaping.
They're not all targeted at the adult market at all. It isn't about young people under 16 to 18-year-olds saying, I want to do this because it looks adult and grown up. They look attractive to young people. The bright colours, the names, the kind of product design is made to entice a young person to use them.
So that's the last one, we can't sell them anymore. Is it?
One vape industry trade body says the illegal sale of disposable devices is a huge problem. More regulations are needed to tackle that and vape use by youngsters. But their chairman says vapes do play a vital role in reducing cigarette use.
There are smokers that need these products. When the single-use ban came into effect, the easiest way to ensure they don't revert back to smoking is have a product that looks familiar but meets the regulation, rechargeable, refillable, reusable. And that's what takes place. So by changing that too far means you risk those people that were using these products for the right reason, that are adult previous smokers or would-be smokers, would effectively go back to the combustible cigarette. That would be an absolute tragedy.
The government told ITV News that rogue vape traders who show a blatant disregard for the rules and reoffend can face unlimited fines or jail time. A vape excise tax is due to come into force in October, which it's hoped will both reduce affordability of vapes to children and create more powers to tackle illegal imports of disposable vapes. Kevin Ashford, ITV News.
The MP for Hexham has put forward a bill in Parliament aimed at creating a register of iconic trees, like the one that stood at Sycamore Gap in his constituency. The sycamore tree on Hadrian's Wall was cut down in September 2023. 2 men were jailed for more than 4 years each in July. The MP, Joe Morris, says trees should be recognised for their cultural, historical, ecological and symbolic significance. But his bill is unlikely to successfully make its way through Parliament to become law.
Though the Sycamore Gap tree has fallen, its legacy stands unshaken, Madam Deputy Speaker. It's our solemn responsibility to honour that legacy, to recognise the hope, the endurance and the unity that it inspired, and to safeguard the iconic trees that shape our national landscape, ensure that they are cherished, protected and never consigned alone to memory.
It's time for sport now, and Chris is here to look back at the weekend's action.
Powering local sport in the community, Octopus Energy sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
Well, there were some big wins and some impressive performances this weekend, Chris.
That's right, Ian, there was. It was a rare weekend when all 3 of our football teams not only won, but did so in some style as well. Newcastle boss Eddie Howe was a relieved man on Saturday night. His team finally managed to banish their travel sickness and win 4-1 away from home. And it was an impressive performance. The Magpies scored at Everton's new swanky Hill Dickinson Stadium after just 55 seconds, and they never really looked back after that. 3 more goals followed from a team that last won away in the Premier League in April. Nick Voltemada scored a lovely lob over Jordan Pickford, and the manner of the performance was similar to the Newcastle of last season at times. So, after some tough defeats lately, are the old Magpies back?
It's vitally important that we find the consistency that we're searching for. I think the last 2 Premier League performances in particular have been us. I'm reluctant to say we're back. I think we'll prove whether we're back or not, but I think we're moving in the right direction.
Sunderland boss Regis Labrie says his side have to use home comforts to their advantage after the Black Cats bagged another impressive Premier League win. A victory seemed unlikely, especially as Bournemouth were 2-0 up after 15 minutes. But Black Cats kept pushing and eventually got themselves level. It felt like there was only going to be one winner after that, and 3 points for Sunderland's fighting spirit was the least the Black Cats deserved. They're 6th in the table and remain unbeaten at the Stadium of Light.
When we play here, I think we have this confidence, we have this strength, we have our references, we have our fans, and I think in football at that level, every detail is important, and this one is more than important.
So, Chris, there's 2 impressive wins there for Newcastle and Sunderland, and at this stage in the season, it's important, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is, Rachel. Similar reason for both, really. Positive momentum for Sunderland. Remaining unbeaten at home is a massive achievement. 7 games unbeaten now at the Stadium of Light. The last newly promoted team to do that was Blackburn Rovers 24 years ago, so some achievement. Now, at the start of the season, people talked about home form being crucial to keeping them up, but they're 6th in the table. Perhaps home form will be crucial for that potential European challenge that it looks like they're on for. As for Newcastle, their win just reminds the team that they are capable of winning away in the Premier League. The impressive win at Everton comes after a big win over Manchester City, and the next 2 games, Tottenham and Burnley, both at home at St James's, win both, and suddenly Newcastle's Premier League position looks a lot healthier.
It certainly does.
Speaking of fighting spirit and impressive performances, new Middlesbrough head coach Kim Hellberg had a debut to remember against Derby County on Saturday. He got a win, tasted the Riverside atmosphere from the touchline, and saw why his new team are 2nd in the Championship. As debuts go, it was pretty much perfect for Kim Hellberg. A packed-out Riverside Stadium and a comeback victory, lifting Middlesbrough to 2nd in the Championship. A memorable day all round for Borough's new boss.
Now a very proud moment, happy, a lot of feelings going through the body at the same time. Very proud of the lads and how they perform. So now it's a big day, I will remember this for the rest of my life.
In the build-up to the game, Hellberg talked about wanting his new team to play fast football. Well, it was Derby County with all the pace from the off. Their speed caught Borough out and put the visitors ahead after just 2 minutes. At that point, it would have been easy for Borough to panic, but they stuck to their task and were really the better team throughout. Eventually, their efforts brought rewards late in the second half. For winning goalscorer Morgan Whittaker, no sweeter reward than scoring against his old team.
Yeah, it's really nice. I think they were giving me someone who was having a corner, so it was nice to get the goal where they were and obviously get the 3 points for a new manager and just show that even though we've had a change that we're not going to stop them when they keep winning.
For Middlesbrough's new man in charge, he believes a half-time team talk helped his side realise their strengths.
You want to do everything right from the start, and that means like just taking a breath. You will turn this around. You have so much good quality on your feet and heads and that stuff. Then of course you need top quality things to do it, and I think both goals are high quality goals.
There will undoubtedly be tougher Championship tests to come for Kim Hellberg and his Middlesbrough team, but as first games go, this one went pretty well. In rugby, the Newcastle Red Bulls have now gone a full calendar year without a win in the Premiership. They were beaten 39-15 by Leicester Tigers at Kingston Park on Friday night. Despite Newcastle's form, there was over 10,000 people at the game, giving head coach Alan Dickens hope that his team can use such strong support to inspire them to victory in the future. In Speedway, Berwick Bandits have announced Australian Nick Morris will be joining the Borders side for 2026. It's a team he knows well. Morris re-signs as a Bandit after lifting the Premier League Riders' Championship with the team back in 2017. And in racing, it was a golden day for Golden Ace, who won the Fighting Fifth Hurdle on Saturday. The favourite and former champion hurdler Constitution Hill fell at the second hurdle, shocking Newcastle's largest crowd for jump racing in 20 years. It allowed Golden Ace to take the win by a length and a half. That's the sport.
Chris, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Now, you might have spent this weekend putting up your Christmas tree and all the decorations. If so, you weren't alone.
A 40-foot tree which was felled in Kielder Forest 10 days ago is now standing pride of place outside the Houses of Parliament.
And tonight the festive lights have been officially switched on. They're twinkling away, so let's join Tom Sheldrick, who's there for the big countdown. Tom.
Rachel, I'm not sure about you, but I opened the very first window on my advent calendar this morning. It is, of course, the 1st of December. What better day to switch on the lights of this giant tree that's in prime position here next to Big Ben. As is now tradition, it has come from Kielder Forest in Northumberland. It's a 40-foot Sitka spruce specially chosen by Forestry England. We saw it being cut down 10 days ago with snow on its branches. It's just been a little bit wet here today for a ceremony a bit earlier that featured some carols and modern Christmas songs as well as the switch on.
3, 2, 1, let go!
Well, the Speaker of the House of Commons described this tree as spectacular. There are a couple of smaller ones also from Kielder inside Parliament, and Downing Street had their switch on too this afternoon. You might consider the festive season to be officially underway.
I have to agree with you, Tom. Thank you so much. Kielder doing us proud there at Westminster. Ross, it's not snowing, but it's definitely been raining, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
We've lost that festive chill just in time for the first day of December, and the trees going up, and what is the start of meteorological winter, and suddenly we're getting sort of more autumnal weather at the moment. Although it's very early when it comes to winter, but yes, the rain has been falling. We did wake up to the white stuff this morning, but it was just cloud. This is the infrared satellite. Yeah, we're somewhere underneath there. There we are. And in the mix, of course, was some heavy spells of rain. Now, the heaviest was on western-facing slopes, shielding us, but we did get up to around 15 millimetres of rainfall in places over the last few hours, so that is quite significant. As we make our way through the next few days, there's a bit more rain on the way, but actually we're looking at autumn now, because it was actually the 8th wettest on record for Northumberland, so the rain, actually, for autumn, it was the first season saw above average. It's been very dry elsewhere, so we do need it, just not all at once. Other than that, the east, actually, we did okay. It was slightly brighter than average and slightly milder too. But I'd say that we have got that change. More rain, although temperatures are holding up, so still no festive chill on the cards. Here's your forecast.
A breezy morning will be followed up with a flurry of fresh delights for lunch. TUI sponsors ITV Tyne's weather.
Those December downpours will continue for a time through this evening and overnight. Into the early hours, most of it has cleared through, drier and brighter into tomorrow with just a few isolated showers. Although we do have some dry weather on the way, generally staying unsettled as we head through this week with low pressure consistently nearby. That's tonight's rainfall there, moving out towards the North Sea. Behind it, we get the calmer, brighter, breezier conditions, but you can see there's an area of low pressure still introducing a scattering of showers into Wednesday. Later Wednesday into Thursday, there's another band of rain looking like it will spread its way in from the west, and with that the winds will pick up once again. For now, quite blustery at times as we head through this evening and overnight, and although this rain is patchy, the bright colours showing we are expecting heavier downpours at times. Into the early hours, most of that will have disappeared, leaving us with clearer skies, still very much on the breezy side, and thanks to that temperatures do hold up at around 5 or 6 degrees. So into Tuesday morning, not too chilly as we start the day. Still a short stream of showers dotted around. Now, some of these could be on the sharper side at times, but they are few and far between. For most of us, it is going to stay dry, bright and breezy. I want to get highs around 8 degrees, so actually out of the winds in the sunshine, quite a pleasant afternoon. Later Tuesday and into Wednesday then. Still low pressure nearby, so still a scattering of showers moving through. Now, they are working their way in from the west, so sometimes the heavier showers are filtered out by the higher ground. And again, we do hold on to those brighter breaks, with some lighter winds, though, turning quite chilly at times, certainly overnight through the next few nights. So rain off and on as we head through this week. Risk of a scattering of showers, with them coming in from the west. We're filtered out for the most part, temperatures dropping by Thursday.
TUI sponsors ITV Tyne weather.
Thank you, Ross. Stay with us in just a moment. It's the national and international news with Mary.
I'll be here with the update later, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.